Not everyone cares about the Super Bowl. Some people watch with fervor, others barely notice. This indifference isn't just apathy, it's a rejection of the collective frenzy. It exposes a rift in identity. Those who cheer, who wear jerseys, feel a sense of belonging. But what about the indifferent? They stand apart, questioning the need for tribal loyalty. This detachment breeds discomfort. It forces a confrontation with societal norms. Why are they excluded from the celebration? The indifference reveals a deeper psychological conflict and awareness of overstimulation, a refusal to conform. It's unsettling to realize that the majority's passion can feel suffocating. As the Super Bowl approaches, the pressure mounts. The indifferent are left to grapple with their isolation. Will they remain outsiders, or will they succumb to the noise? The choice looms, and it's impossible to ignore. The neurology of passion. Some people are consumed by the Super Bowl, others couldn't care less. This isn't just preference, it's neurological. The brain lights up for those who feel the thrill, while indifference breeds a chilling silence. The passion ignites dopamine, a chemical that fuels joy and connection. But for the apathetic, that spark is absent. This divide isn't trivial. It reveals a deeper conflict within society, a clash of identities. Those who cheer, who feel part of something larger, versus those who stand apart, detached. The latter face a reality where they're seen as outsiders, missing out on a communal experience that defines social bonds. As the Super Bowl approaches, the stakes rise. The indifference becomes a glaring void, a chasm that isolates. What does it mean to be on the outside looking in? The future is clear. The more you resist, the more alienated you become. You either embrace the chaos or risk being swallowed by it. Tribal instincts and community. The Super Bowl isn't just a game, it's a primal call to arms. For many, it's the heartbeat of community, a ritual binding people together. But what about those who stand apart, indifferent to the frenzy? They're not just outsiders. They're a threat to the very fabric of tribal identity. Their indifference exposes a chasm in societal expectations, a stark reminder that not everyone finds belonging in the roar of the crowd. As the passionate cheer, the indifferent remains silent, a quiet rebellion against the collective madness. This tension escalates, revealing deeper psychological fractures. What does it mean to reject the norm? It's a challenge to the status quo, a confrontation with the uncomfortable truth that community can be built on something other than shared passions. In a world that demands conformity, those who don't care about the Super Bowl force us to question our own loyalties. Are you part of the tribe, or are you the one who walks away? Lost in control, people cling to the Super Bowl like it's a lifeline. But what about those who don't care? They stand apart, untouched by the frenzy. They watch as others lose themselves in the chaos of a game they deem meaningless. This indifference isn't just apathy, it's a rejection of the emotional roller coaster that binds so many. Why invest in something you can't control? The outcome hangs in the balance, yet the stakes feel personal. Those who cheer and scream are entrapped in a cycle of hope and despair, while the indifferent float above it all, observing the madness. But this detachment breeds its own tension. What does it mean to be an outsider in a world obsessed with belonging? The indifference becomes a shield, but it also isolates. As the game unfolds, the stakes rise, and the emotional fallout looms larger. The question remains, can you truly escape the grip of collective passion, or does that indifference reveal a deeper fear of vulnerability, overload, and sensory assault? The Super Bowl isn't just a game, it's a cacophony of noise, flashing lights, and relentless hype. For some, it's exhilarating. For others, it's suffocating. The excitement morphs into a sensory overload, drowning out any semblance of calm. Those who don't care. They stand on the sidelines, watching the frenzied masses, feeling the pressure to conform. But what if indifference is a shield? A defense against the chaos that consumes the passionate. It's a rejection of the tribal identity that demands participation. Yet, that indifference breeds isolation. The world expects you to care, to feel. Not caring is a silent rebellion, but it comes at a cost. As the cheers erupt and the crowd roars, the indifferent are left in a void, questioning their own detachment. The stakes rise. What happens when the noise fades, and you're left alone with your thoughts? The real game is just beginning, and the consequences are closing in. Uncertainty as a strength. Some people thrive on the chaos of the Super Bowl, while others recoil in indifference. This divide reveals a deeper conflict, the exhilaration of unpredictability versus the suffocating weight of uncertainty. For the passionate, every play ignites a visceral response. For the indifferent, it's just noise and irritating distraction. But what happens when this indifference becomes a shield? It's a denial of connection, a rejection of the primal urge to belong. Society pushes us to engage, to feel, to cheer. Those who refuse become outcasts. But they also reveal a chilling truth. They are unbothered by the chaos that drives others to the brink of obsession. As the game unfolds, the stakes rise. The indifferent sit in silence, their apathy a quiet rebellion against the frenzy around them. What does it say about you if you can't feel the tension? The future looms, and the choice is stark. Embrace the chaos or remain untouched, forever on the outside looking in. Tradition or torture? The Super Bowl isn't just a game, it's a ritual. For millions, it's a celebration, a chance to belong. But what about those who stand apart? They feel the pressure, the judgment, the unspoken expectation to care. Their indifference isn't apathy, it's a rejection of a culture that demands allegiance. As the frenzy builds, the divide deepens. The passionate scream for unity, while the indifferent retreat into silence. This isn't just about sports, it's about identity. Those who don't engage are seen as outsiders, yet they bear the weight of societal norms. They're trapped in a cycle of exclusion, where their lack of enthusiasm is a threat to the collective joy. What happens when the game ends? The celebration fades, but the isolation lingers. The indifferent are left to confront their own choices, questioning their place in a world that thrives on conformity. The stakes rise. Will they continue to resist, or will they succumb to the pressure? The future looms, and the choice becomes clearer: acceptance or alienation. The unseen villain, indifference to the Super Bowl, reveals a darker truth. It's not just a preference, it's a rejection of societal norms. While millions scream and cheer, those who don't care stand apart, facing judgment. They become the outcasts, the ones who refuse to conform. This indifference isn't harmless. It breeds resentment. The pressure mounts. Friends and family push, insisting that excitement is mandatory. But what if that excitement is a mask? A distraction from deeper issues? The indifference exposes a fracture in identity, a challenge to the tribe. It's a silent rebellion, but it comes at a cost. The stakes rise as the indifferent are forced to question their own worth. Are they missing out, or are they simply aware of the emptiness behind the frenzy? The future looms ominously. The more they resist, the more isolated they become. Acceptance slips away, leaving behind a chilling truth. To not care is to be seen as less than human. Identity and defensiveness. Sports are more than games. They're identity markers. The Super Bowl ignites passion, but indifference breeds hostility. Fans wear their loyalty like armor, ready to defend against anyone who dismisses their fervor. This defensiveness reveals a deeper conflict. What happens when your identity is questioned? Those who don't care about the Super Bowl aren't just apathetic. They threaten the very fabric of tribal belonging. The stakes rise as fans grapple with feelings of isolation, their connection to community hanging by a thread. They lash out, demanding validation for their passion, while the indifferent remain unscathed, untouched by the emotional storm. This clash exposes a chilling truth. The more you invest in your identity through sports, the more fragile it becomes. The future looms ominously, suggesting that the divide will only deepen. Indifference isn't just a lack of interest, it's a challenge to your very existence. Are you prepared to confront that, the dark side of apathy? Indifference towards the Super Bowl reveals a chilling truth about human connection. Those who dismiss the frenzy expose a fracture in societal bonds. They stand apart, unbothered by the collective excitement that grips millions. This detachment breeds a dangerous isolation, a refusal to engage in shared experiences that define community. As the passionate roar of fans fills the air, the indifferent remain silent, their apathy a stark contrast to the fervor around them. This isn't merely a preference, it's a rejection of belonging. What does it say about you when you turn your back on the rituals that unite others? The stakes escalate. The more you distance yourself, the more you risk being seen as an outsider. In a world that thrives on connection, your indifference could lead to a deeper loneliness. Are you prepared to face the consequences of your detachment? The choice is yours, but the implications are unavoidable. This pattern doesn't end here. Subscribe and tell me what you want uncovered next.